Perfect, thank you. Cool, so we're going to get going. We are just, as I mentioned, we are just waiting on Jane to join, but what I can do is just jump through her slides, and if she manages to connect a bit later, we can come back to them. So let me see if I can go into slideshow mode. So this is the Reach for the Stars event or session. So we're going to hear from speakers at Girls in Aviation Africa, Uganda Wildlife Authority, Bijoux Trendy, and also Asilia Dunia Camp. So the faces for those are Maseka, who is on the call at the moment as well, Jane, who's the Uganda Wildlife Authority Ranger, and Bijoux, who's on her way to work and looking very cozy. She's got a scarf on. She's based in Norway. And Ellie, who is, I can't see Ellie anymore, but she was visible a few minutes ago. She was based at one of the camps in Serengeti, so it's a female-run camp, which is really cool.
I'm here.
There you are. In terms of the session, so each of our presenters is going to obviously take you through their amazing roles, so the really cool jobs that they do. Each of these sessions is probably going to last about 10 to 15 minutes. And if you have any questions at the end of each session or during the session, feel free just to drop them into the Q&A. There's a little chat panel. And otherwise, you can just unmute yourselves at the end of the session. Hello. And just ask your questions then. If you could mute your mic, I think everyone has now, just so that the presenter has sort of full mic, right? So everyone can hear what they're saying. And then obviously we want you to feel happy with the sessions and feel inspired at the end of it and just enjoy what you're hearing from the speakers as well. So let's go first with Maseka, please.
Hi, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. Hello, everybody. My name is Maseka Kithinji. I am from Kenya. I am the founder of Girls in Aviation Africa, and I'm a pilot and aviation lawyer. When Rebecca asked me to share my story in 10 minutes, I was like, wow.
I know, sorry.
But I think I'll summarize the best that I can. I've realized that Swahili we speak here in Kenya is more Sheng than the Swahili they speak in Tanzania. So I think I'll just stick to English. So my story began when I finished high school, and throughout
Oh, you're breaking up. I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Oh. Yes, so just as the amazing girls in this call, I was very ambitious and I really wanted to become a pilot. But at the time, my family was really discouraged. Yeah, so at the time, my family was really discouraged. We didn't have the funds to do so. And both my parents were asking, how am I going to fit in a male-dominated career? And as we know, if anything is to happen physically to a pilot, your career ends right there and then. So it's very, very sad. But I was told you need to go to university and choose the next best thing. So I told them I'm going to do this. But I still have not forgotten that I'm a pilot. Just know I'm a pilot in university. So I joined university and I started the course of law. How I ended up choosing law is I was just like, I want to learn. I want to know what runs these systems, and more importantly, how to stand up for the rights of others. I joined in the first semester and I really, really enjoyed it. Fast forward to my third semester, when I was just about to finish, I approached my family once again and I told them, I've been a pilot studying law all this time. I think it's time I start this course. And they somehow agreed to it. So I began my flight school in the middle of law school. It was quite hectic, juggling both law school and flying. But once I began flying, I knew this is exactly what I was supposed to do. So I finished, going back to law, I finished studying law in 2017, graduated in 2018, and then went through something called advocacy so that you can be able to practice in court for another 2 years. And then it was just last year, but 2020, that I got my first license. And then now last year began my commercial license. But something interesting happened in my career where they were looking for a pilot. And I just thought, okay, maybe this is just the aircrafts I've been flying, which is something called Cessna 172, 152, 206. And my friend was like, please go apply and see if you get it. So I applied for this job. And when I got it, they sent me pictures of what I'd be flying. Now, that's the picture in this slide, the microlight. And I was, first of all, like, what is that? Can it fly? I'm not seeing anything like an aircraft. And they're like, this is a microlight. You can do your research. It'll be really great. And even though scared again, I was like, okay, sure. Let me come and see what we're going to be doing. And most interesting thing about it is they said, okay, so you're going to be flying it over the ocean looking for sharks.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, wow. So I said, in case of emergency, I'm going to hopefully survive the air accident and then be eaten by a shark. Sounds fantastic. Again, I think in my story, my family highlights so many times. My family was just like, imagine you don't have to work. We can take care of you. You don't have to work. But I don't have to. And I was like, I'm interested to know what this is about. And I began flying now what this, the picture, what this is, a microlight last year. And I fly it under East Africa Whale Shark Trust. And what we do is we look for whale sharks. Wow. So whale sharks migrate through the Kenyan coastline between mid-January and mid-March. What we do is we conduct marine research, we count them, photo ID them, and also sometimes tag them to see where they go. And you also get to swim with them. So actually this year I got to swim with my first whale shark and it was really beautiful. I was so scared, but it was out of this world. Amazing. But my highlight for, thank you. My highlight for flying the microlight has to be that I didn't realize I was the first female to be flying a microlight and actually first person to be flying a microlight in Kenya. Oh. So last year when the season was midway, my boss tells me, oh, the media are here to cover the first person flying a microlight. And I was like, what? This is so interesting.
That's really cool.
So yeah, I was so excited that to be the first person and first female to be flying the microlight. And I've been so excited to share different ways now under Girls in Aviation Africa of ways to take flight, because Girls in Aviation Africa, in short, we do two things. We mentor girls about, the career, whatever that they want to do. And then we also expose girls about what aviation is, because many people think aviation is just being a pilot or a flight attendant, but there's so many other careers. There is something called an air traffic controller that controls us from ground in the sky. There are ground handlers who make sure that the aircraft is parked in the right direction, in the right place. There are aeronautical engineers who construct these, aircraft. So there's so many different careers that we do our best to expose as many young girls to. And then once they decide what they want to do, walk with them, because a lot of us didn't have a sisterhood when we joined aviation, and we are still so much a minority in this sector. So we've just come together to encourage each other. And I'm so happy that I'm able to tell many young girls, hey, you can also be a microlight pilot. I know it's not what people are used to, but it's a lot of fun. You're up in the sky, and if you're not afraid of heights, you'll have the most fun, I think even more than a normal pilot in a normal air. So that is my story. I hope I've been able to keep within the 10-15 minutes, and I'm really looking forward to questions from the young girls. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's so interesting. It's really fascinating. And I think you're super brave going out over the sea when there's sharks below you. I don't know quite how you sort of did that the first time, but it sounds really interesting, and it's great you got to swim with them as well. I have a few initial questions, but I can't see can anyone see whether there are any questions from any of the girls? Or Harry, do you know if any of the girls have any questions?
Yes, some of the girls have the question they would like to ask, but they're going to speak it in Swahili. Maybe I can translate in English if it's needed.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Go for it.
Swahili. Yeah.
Kwa majina naitwa Zawadi Richard.
Her name is Zawadi Richard. I hope you can hear her.
Yeah.
Mimi na swali kwa rubani wetu. Swali langu ni kwamba rubani anapaswa kuwa na sifa gani au mienendo yake inatakiwa iweje?
Okay, she is asking what things does a pilot need to have so that she can reach her dream?
Oh, okay. I'll just go right ahead and answer that. Well, as soon as you finish high school, there are certain subjects that you need to have done. That is math, English, geography, and any of the sciences. That can be physics, biology, or chemistry. Out of these 4 subjects, you need, well, at least I'm not sure of the grade requirement in Tanzania, but in Kenya, you need to, I think, have a C+ and above, which is under the KCSE certificate. But in other countries, I don't know what grade is required, but globally, those are the subjects that one needs to have studied in high school to become a pilot. And then the second thing that's the most important is good health. So good hearing, good eyesight, good coordination, because that's what you're going to be doing, which is a skill. And I'm sure you just take care of yourself that way. So those are the subjects, and physically, those are the attributes.
That's great, thank you. Harry, were there any other questions?
Yes, please. There is another question from other girls. Please come. Please.
Kwa majina naitwa Tasiana Franco.
Her name is Tasiana Franco.
Na swali kuhusu rubani wetu.
Okay,
swali langu linasema rubani anaajiriwa kulingana na anavyoendesha ndege au mshahara wake anapata kama mtu anavyoajiriwa serikalini?
Okay, her question is concerning about, the salary and the payment of a pilot. Does the pilot paid monthly or after taking the flight from one place to another place?
Interesting question. No, I think it depends on the company that you work for. So for most commercial airlines, it's your salary payment. Like any other job, you'll be paid at the end of the month. But then there are also different companies that will pay you per flight. So depending on the company you work for and the agreement that you arrive at, they will pay you per leg or per month. For you as a pilot, it's just to decide what is more profitable for yourself and what works best.
Sounds good.
Perfect. I think we have the last question. We can take it from girls here.
My name is 𝗵𝗆𝗄𝗏.
Hey.
Okay, my name is Happiness. Hello. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Happiness from Uganda. I'm a question for you that what are the big problems facing as a pilot? Hello.
Wow, yes, I can hear you. Thank you for your question. I think I'm going to divide it into, because the problems that face pilots and the problems that face female pilots are very different. So two things maybe that problems that face pilots, especially us being in Africa, is that we are growing aviation industry. So the opportunities that other countries, possibly in Europe or in America, that are offered, to pilots. For example, maybe you'll finish immediately and you can have access to your national carrier or to a job easily is unlikely, here, because there are not so many air carriers and not so many, companies. So job security is a huge challenge, especially even after COVID, and aviation being the hardest industry that was hit by COVID. It's slowly coming up, but it's a really huge challenge. I think the second challenge for pilots generally, no, I think just in limiting in Africa, the biggest challenge is just job security. For a female pilot, I think I have a number. As a female pilot, being a minority, you have to be the best for yourself, because the competition is not a level playing ground. The way they train and treat male pilots and the way they train and treat female pilots, you can see that disparity. And a lot of women, even in this space, talk about having to prove themselves that they can actually, do this and can compete with their male counterparts. Another issue or other challenge you face as a female pilot, still the same thing when it comes to job security, where there's that bias of, an example would be one of the national carriers, I won't mention which one, here in Africa, had a huge issue with their female pilots. But we are saying that getting pregnant and having a baby is a natural thing, but they would ground immediately, the female pilots, not pay them. And a lot of women were just like, okay, it's hard being a pilot and also having a family, because how am I supposed to have a family, quote unquote. Sorry, I don't know, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you again now.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so that's a big challenge in the aviation industry as a female pilot, having a family, having quote unquote a normal lifestyle, as well as balancing your job. But I think with the new policies that, are coming up, not only in my country, but hopefully aviation as a whole in Africa and in the world, there'd be more inclusive and, better understanding of women, because our challenges and differences are obvious, but they're not, it's not something that should make, us as women disqualified for these positions. So those are just some of the challenges that, one faces in this sector.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That's really helpful. I think, Harry, I think you said that was the last of the questions. And because we're obviously a bit stuck for time, I will, what I'll say is if there are any other questions from anyone who's watching, if you can just send them through to us. I think we can probably circulate an email address afterwards, and then we can share with the various speakers. But thank you so much. That was really, really interesting. I don't think that Jane is on the line just yet, but I also wanted to jump ahead down to Bijou's session if possible, because Bijoux, I know you need to disappear quite soon, don't you? So
yes,
yeah, no worries. So if we jump into your session, so yeah, I was about to introduce you. Let me just do a very quick introduction. So Bijou's got a really amazing Instagram account and also a boutique and business. So if you're interested in fashion, it's definitely worth taking a look at Bijoux Trendy. She does really, really beautiful clothes and designs and everything. So it was really, it's great to have you on the call today.
Thank you. Yeah.
No worries. And sorry, I'll stop now. And then over to you. I'll just go into full presentation mode.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rebecca. And I'm so happy to be one of the presenter today. And can I ask you if you can take this in Swahili so girls can understand clear?
Yeah, that would be amazing if you could. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So, can girls hear me?
Harry, can everyone hear there and at the hostels as well?
Yes, we can hear.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, sawa. Jina langu ni Bijoux Mussa Wane na ni creative director na founder wa Bijoux Trendy. Bijoux Trendy ni clothing brand ambayo inatengenezwa kwa mkono from scratch. Tuko based Tanzania. Mimi binafsi nimezaliwa na nimesomea Tanzania mpaka level ya university, nikahamia Norway, nikaja kufanya masomo yangu ya university Norway, nimechukua business administration. Kwenye maisha yangu sikuwahi kufikiria kama nitakuja kuwa fashion designer. You know, my dream job ilikuwa ni kufanya kazi kwenye ndege, kufanya kazi kama journalist na mambo mengine, lakini sikuwahi kufikiria kama nitakuwa fashion designer. Lakini nakumbuka kwamba nilikuwa na passion ya fashion. Nilikuwa napenda sana mitindo, nilikuwa napenda sana kumuona mamangu anaenda kwa fundi, anashona, mjomba wangu alikuwa ni fundi cherehani. Kwa hiyo nilikuwa nafurahi sana nikitoka shule, naenda ofisi ya fundi, nakaa, naangalia nini wanachofanya. Muda mwingine nilikuwa naomba kama naweza nikawasaidia kupiga pasi, lakini nilikuwa mdogo sana kama miaka 7, kwa hiyo hawakuweza kuniruhusu kufanya shughuli nyingi. Baadaye nilipomaliza masomo yangu ya university, nikaamua kurudi Tanzania kutoka Norway ili nianzishe biashara. Nikajikuta kwamba polepole nimeanza kufanya shughuli za mitindo kama kuuza vitenge, kuuza vitenge kupitia social media, Instagram. Actually, Instagram imenisaidia sana.
Bijoux, let me know if you want me to move on a slide. Yeah, no worries. Let me know if you want me to move on a slide at any point as well.
Yeah, we can move to a 1 to third slide.
Cool.
Yeah, kwa hiyo nikajikuta kwamba nimeanza kufanya shughuli za mitindo polepole kwa kuanza kuuza vitenge, kujishonea mwenyewe. Kwa hiyo nikagundua kwamba watu wengi wanapenda nini ninachokifanya. Kwa hiyo nikatumia Instagram yangu, social media, kwa ajili ya kuanza kuwatangaza kitu ninachokifanya. Polepole watu wakapenda, wakaanza kunicontact, ndo nikaanzia hapo mwaka 2014. Slowly nikajikuta kwamba biashara inaenda vizuri. Sasa nikaamua hii biashara nataka niichukulie serious, nifanye 100% na ni turn passion into business. Kwa hiyo mwaka 2016 nikaenda China, nikanunua industrial sewing machine, cherehani zile kubwa za industrial. Nikaanza brand officially Bijoux Trendy kama clothing brand. Lakini muda huo nilikuwa nataka brand yangu iweje? Nilikuwa nataka brand yangu iwe eco-friendly, iwe 100% organic cotton. Alafu pia nilikuwa nataka nitoke kwenye vitenge pia niende kwenye batik, ili iwe rahisi create kitu changu mwenyewe from scratch. Kwa hiyo mwaka 2016 nikaanza polepole, mwaka 2017, mwaka 2018 mpaka leo ndo Bijoux Trendy imekuwa brand kubwa sana. Can we move to the fourth slide?
Yeah.
Hapa nasema kitu kinachoni inspire, you know, kitu kinachoni inspire inaweza ikawa kitu chochote. Inaweza ikawa ni movie naangalia, inaweza ikawa niko kwenye matembezi yangu ya kawaida, inaweza ikawa ni documentary kwa sababu mimi ni mpenzi sana kuangalia documentary. Inaweza nikawa niko kwenye coffee shop, napenda sana kwenda hang kwenye coffee shop na kufanya shughuli zangu. Kwa hiyo inspiration yangu inategemea na sehemu ambayo nipo na kitu ninachokifanya. Na pia napenda sana kusafiri. Naamini sana kusafiri, unaona vitu vingi, unakutana na watu tofauti, una experience culture tofauti. Kwa hiyo napenda sana kusafiri, na kwenye safari zangu mara nyingi sana ndio huwa napata inspiration. Can we move to 5th slide?
Yes, sorry. So
yeah.
I think did you go through all of your slides? Sorry, my Swahili is
I'm on 5th now. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so ushauri wangu, tips to enter the career in fashion. Fanya research. Do your research. Nenda tembelea ofisi za mafundi, tembelea fashion designer, angalia kitu gani wanachokifanya, waulize maswali. Ikiwezekana unaweza hata ukajitolea kufanya kazi pale hata bila kulipwa ili uweze kujifunza. Alafu kitu kingine, wajue competitors wako kama hivyo fashion designer, mafundi, ndo watu ambao unatakiwa uangalie sehemu gani ambao wanakosea. Pale wanapokosea sasa yale mapungufu yao wewe ndo unayotumia ku create kitu chako. Alafu vile vile unatafuta sehemu ambayo kuna tatizo. Wewe ukishatafuta sehemu kuna tatizo, unalifanyia kazi lile tatizo. Kwa hiyo ndio unaweza kwa ushauri wangu kwa mtu ambaye anataka kuingia kwenye tasnia ya ubunifu wa mitindo au fashion design. I think that's a short story.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you so much for going through all of that. And I'm sure it must be quite difficult to condense it into such a short amount of time. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, I think Gus here have some question.
Cool.
Kwa majina naitwa Zawadi Richard. Mimi na swali kwamba kuna tofauti gani kati ya mwanamitindo na mbunifu?
Mwanamitindo ni yule ambaye anavaa nguo ambazo zimebuniwa na mbunifu. Kwa hiyo mbunifu wa mavazi ni yule ambaye anatengeneza kile kitu ambacho mwanamitindo anakivaa. Yeye mwanamitindo kazi yake tu ni kuvaa kile kitu ambacho kimetengenezwa na mbunifu wa mavazi. Pia unaweza ukatoka kwenye mwanamitindo ukawa mbunifu.
Thank you. Kuna swali jingine pia.
Kwa majina naitwa Elizabeth. Swali langu ni hivi. Designer anawezaje kutatua changamoto katika jamii?
Designer anaweza kufanyaje?
Jamii.
Kutatua
changamoto ya kama mimi kama fashion designer nina program ambayo nazunguka mashuleni kwa ajili ya kuwapa nafasi wanafunzi, especially wanafunzi wa kike, kuwa na muda wa kuweza kupata nafasi ya kuexplore their talent. Tumekuwa tukiona kwamba mara nyingi sana watoto wa kiume wakitoka shuleni wanaenda nyumbani, wana uwezo wa kwenda kuchezea magari au kucheza mpira au kufanya talent zingine kama kujenga manyumba, kujenga magari. Lakini mara nyingi sana watoto wa kike ukitoka shuleni ukienda nyumbani unaambiwa upike, unaambiwa ufue nguo, unaambiwa ufagie. Kwa hiyo tunajikuta kwamba watoto wa kike mara nyingi hatuna nafasi ya kuweza kuexplore talent zetu. Kwa hiyo kuna program nimeanzisha mashuleni, haijakuwa officially launched lakini muda mrefu itakuwa launched. Tutajenga sehemu shuleni inaitwa club. Hiyo club ni wanafunzi watakuwa wanaenda baada ya masomo, wanaenda pale kwa watafanya shughuli mbalimbali kama kuchora, kushona kwa mkono, kuangalia inspiration film, na pia tutawasaidia kufanya homework.
Okay, I think we have the last question from this side.
Naitwa Florida Johnson. Nina swali kwamba katika kazi yako ni changamoto gani unazokumbana nazo na unawezaje kuzitatua?
Changamoto ambazo tunakumbana nazo kwanza ni kupata raw material ambao ni malighafi, ambao ni cotton. Ambao mimi natumia sana ni cotton, naweza kusema ni bei ghali. Kwa hiyo sio kila fashion designer au mtu ambaye anaingia kwenye tasnia ya ubunifu anaweza aka afford kununua raw material. So raw material naweza kusema ni expensive. Alafu pia changamoto nyingine ni unakuwa unafanya kazi na mafundi muda mwingine wamekuzidi umri, Kwa hiyo unakuwa huwezi kuadhibu kwa sababu wamekuzidi umri. Kuna ile kama heshima fulani inakuwepo. Kwa hiyo inaweza nikasema ni changamoto nyingine, na pia kutafuta masoko ya nje. Kwa mfano kama mimi ni mwanamitindo ambaye nataka brand yangu yani iende mbele zaidi kimataifa. Kwa hiyo kuna changamoto kidogo kuweza kutafuta masoko ya international markets, ya masoko ya nje. Kwa hiyo hizo ndo baadhi ya changamoto ambazo tunakutana nazo.
Thank you, Bijoux. That was so helpful. I just had a quick question. Do you know when you're back in Tanzania? Because obviously you're based in Norway most of the time.
I'm back in June.
Okay.
Early June, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And will you mostly be over in Dar, or are you looking to move around, or?
No, I will be in Dar. I will be in there all the time, yeah. So I don't know, you will be in there as well? No, in Tanzania? I'm
looking to get there sort of mid-April, so I don't know if I'll still be there in June, but if I am, I'll definitely get in touch with you.
Okay.
But if you wanted to, I know it's obviously a bit further away, but if you wanted to go over to the safe houses, then you can reach out to...
I would love to go and visit the 𝗃𝗶𝗿𝗀𝗁 Center, yeah. I would definitely love to go and visit. And also we can maybe discuss how we can help them, and we can maybe have a program to teach them how to make batik, to do the sewing and something like that.
Yeah, because there's a program that's going on at the moment. So they do already some sewing and other skills and learning to become entrepreneurs and stuff like that. But yeah, any skills, and obviously it's always helpful to have like a mentor or a visit from someone who's in the industry. And if there is any opportunity to sort of partner up, it'd be amazing. But in June, if you want to reach out to like myself, Janet, or Harry, you've got all my details, but we can certainly organise like a visit. It'd be super cool to get you there to see you. So thank you so much.
Thanks to you too. And Perfect. If girls have any other question, they can maybe, I don't know, my number, and they can ask me, and
yeah, perfect.
You can share my contact. They can ask me whenever they want to ask me anything.
Superstar, thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, we can hear you.
What are the advantages of your work?
Another question.
What are the advantages of your work?
Advantage is I get to meet a lot of people. I get to learn a lot of things. And also, advantage, you said? Advantage, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, and also income. I have income, and I also create job. You know, I have almost 7 people working with me, and they get paid and help their family, taking their family to school, and pay their rent. So those are the advantage. Also learning every day.
What was that? Sorry, what was the last thing, Bijoux?
Learning every day.
Yeah, definitely.
I learning every day from them.
Perfect. Is your team based in Norway, or is the team based in
Tanzania? No, all my team is based in Tanzania.
Oh, incredible. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot for Tanzania as well?
Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much, Bijoux. I know you might have to drop off at some point, but it's been really good to hear from you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So I have like a few minutes to just listen to other.
Listen in.
Yeah.
Perfect. I've just noticed that we did also have another question for Maseka in terms of, I think you're still online. Yeah. So from John, who's the trustee of the Tanzania Development Trust. Do the commercial airline companies that you know of, do they offer any sponsorship for women to train as pilots?
Thank you. Thank you for that question. I think I can say yes and no. I know in, again, abroad, America and in Europe, there are a lot of national carriers, this should be Tanzania Air, Kenya Airways, but like abroad, maybe there's United Airlines, Lufthansa in Germany, and they have such robust programs for their citizens where you go through their training and then you pay back the money as you work the job. Similar programs used to be offered here in Kenya through Kenya Airways, their Benicia program, where it's still the same structure, where highly competitive, but once you get in, they train you, you begin work, and then you pay them back by, you know, the work that is done. But then the hardest thing right now is that many or most airlines don't do that anymore. At least I can speak for Kenya. Kenya Airways stopped the ab initio program because of, you know, the COVID situation. We hope that as the industry recovers, that we're going to see more of that. But that's a challenge that I see in the aviation industry, especially here in Africa, where we don't have as many scholarships or sponsorships for people who want to enter, you know, the aviation sector, as compared to, you know, countries abroad, where there's so many organizations that are sponsoring and assisting young girls and young men, you know, to pursue their careers. That's something that now even is on us as Africa as a continent, and also individually as countries, as Kenya and in Tanzania, to see possibly even if there's a government sponsorship for maybe 10 people a year, even if that's a little or a lot, depending on how you look at it, to help guys go through their training, because it's quite expensive, and COVID basically wiped out, quote unquote, all our remaining avenues of sponsorship. But I'm really hopeful that as the industry recovers, we'll have, you know, more sponsorships, more scholarships, more avenues for somebody to choose from in order to pursue their career.
Perfect. I think even what you said in terms of if there were to be 10 sponsorships, that would be so helpful, because it's a starting point, isn't it? So, yeah, really interesting.
Definitely.
I can see Jane has joined. Jane, can you hear me? There might be a connection issue, but Jane, let me know if you can hear me, or if you can speak or anything.
I think he messed that. Yeah.
Yeah. What I will do, Ellie, if it's okay, we'll jump onto your slides next. Just bear with me 1 sec. So I think I might put one of them out of order. Sorry, bear with me. Ellie, how does that sound for you? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect, cool. Are we okay to jump onto your slides just whilst Jane connects, and she can maybe jump in at the end?
Yes.
Perfect. Let me just quickly introduce Ellie. So Ellie is manager of Dunia Camp in Serengeti, which is the all-female run safari camp there. So when I heard about this camp a few months ago, I was really excited, and then I reached out to them to see if they'd participate, and Ellie has been super enthusiastic and lovely about getting involved, as have all the speakers. So it's really cool to have you presenting for us today. Let me just go into full mode and over to you, Ellie.
Okay, hi everyone. Watoto, hope mko nimewamisi.
Na sisi pia.
So I managed to visit Hope on the 9th.
Yeah, brilliant. The pictures are amazing. I should have put one of the pictures in, actually.
Yeah.
Do you want me to jump onto the next slide?
Yes, please. I'll be mixing it up, Swahili and English, but mostly Swahili. So kwa jina naitwa Siyaeli Moshi, but you can call me Ellie. Tuko wana wawili na wavulana wawili. Of course, I grew up in Dar es Salaam. Nikapata opportunity ya kusoma O-level zangu Zimbabwe, and then nikamaliza Namibia. Kwa nikaa Namibia kwa muda wa kama miaka 13. Nilivyo manage kufanya kazi na kampuni ya kwanza na Namibia Wildlife Resort as a sales consultant. Of course, nilikuwa najua kabisa kwamba from the beginning mimi ni Lia. Yani ni somebody ambaye ni I'm hospitable. So it was already since nilikuwa tangu I think pangu niko kwenye tumbo.
Oh, sorry, I think we might have lost you a little bit, Ellie. Do you want me to go on to the next slide?
Kwa hiyo after 13 years nikaamua, nilivyorudi nyumbani nikapata kufanya kazi na Singita, nikafanya na Singita kwa muda wa miaka. Nilivyomaliza na Singita nikaenda mjini kidogo just to see what's the town hotels zinafanya kazi vipi. Nilivyomaliza kwenda nikakaa kidogo tu kufanya kazi mjini, ndo nikapata opportunity ya kujoin company. So far niko nao mpaka sasa hivi. Nilianza na Asilia 2019 and then nilijoin na kambi ambayo inaitwa Sayari Camp, iko Kogatende on the almost northern side of Serengeti. Nikakaa kule and then from there nika move to another camp called Namiri Camp. It's still Asilia on the central a little bit. And then after that, with COVID hit, of course, Dunia Camp was closed. Kwa hiyo after that, and then tukafungua Dunia Camp 6th May 2021. Tulipofungua kwa muda huo ndo nika join Dunia Camp from then. Kwa hapo mpaka sasa hivi niko Dunia Camp. Next slide.
I love this picture. I just want to go there.
So that is Dunia Camp from the front area, and then of course usiku tunakuwaga na fire, tunaongea na wageni, telling stories, everything else. Camp is actually located at the corridor spectacular location in the offers game drive. Then unaweza drive, you can see the that is an extra cost, of course. Kuna wanyama wengi, migration inapita hapa vile vile. So it's a really, really amazing spot. You can area, hopefully rhinos, not saying there's a good view of that. Migration, of course, inapita hapa vile vile. So it's a really, really good spot. Next four. Next. So Dunia Camp, it's run by ladies. So it's the only camp in Africa, women too. So as you know that nowadays, not days that most are supposed to king and look after the kids, but now things are changing. So that Dunia Camp, so Dunia Camp is run by all women, from the top manager, which is me, and then the rest is just ladies. So when you come here, you're just gonna see lots of ladies. So we're pampering you. So please come.
Wow.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Next one.
Slide. Of course, you can go to ask Grace, one of our guides. So yeah, so even guiding is ladies. So it's full on, just ladies. But men are allowed to come, hey? Don't get to, you are more than welcome to come and visit. Yeah, next. So my role as a camp manager is like to oversee everything, the operational issues, wageni, staff, maintenance, yani kila kitu concerning Dunia Camp kwa mimi ndo in charge. Challenges ambazo tunaface, of course, unajua kama sisi ni wamama, kwa hiyo yani inakuwa a bit kidogo kind of overwhelming kwamba unaacha watoto nyumbani, unakuja kufanya kazi. Kwa hiyo that is only challenge about tuna miss watoto wetu. ndo challenge iliyokuwepo zaidi kwa wadada and all the ladies who are here. Next slide. What do I love about my job? Kitu gani napenda? Kweli, yani nafurahi sana kuona na enjoy, yani you should see the smile on the face. I'm tired. Wanasema this was an. So that is the main, and so much. And we did get repeat guests visiting us. So it really feels like the guests really enjoy. So that's yani hiyo ndo inanifanya nipende kazi yangu. And the same time also fundisha all the ladies who are here, you know, to make them grow. So when they learn and improve themselves, it also makes me feel good. Fun, good, everything mixed together.
Perfect.
Yeah. Next slide. So tips to finding a career. Mimi navyoona kwamba I think unatakiwa utafute unachopenda. I think nishawaambia, si ndio? Nilivyokuwepo huko siku zile.
Ndio.
Okay, kwa hiyo unatakiwa utafute kitu gani ambacho unapenda. Sawa? Neno ukishafanya hiko kitu, ukishachagua kitu gani unapenda, and then after that sasa unaanza sasa ukifanyia kazi. Unakifanyia kazi, unasoma, yani research kama alivyokuwa anasema one of my colleagues, research and read about it. Alafu usome. Ukishakujua kila kitu sasa unatakiwa sasa ufanyie kazi. Yani 120%, not 100, 120%.
Perfect. Should I go on to the next slide?
Yes, please. To remind us, to emphasize that we should keep campaign.
We're losing you a little bit, Ellie. But thank you so much. That's been so helpful. It's been so good hearing about your role and the team and the camp and everything. And I think a few of us definitely can't wait to get there and have a little visit. Harry, does anyone have any questions at your side? I'm sure a few questions were asked this week whilst Ellie was there.
Yeah, there are some girls who have questions, although when Ellie was here, they also asked some questions. I think they will have more.
Kwa majina naitwa Zawadi.
Hi, Zawadi.
Hi. Na swali kwamba kwenye kambi yenu ya Asilia Dunia mnaweza kupokea kwa siku moja, mnaweza kupokea wageni wangapi?
Okay, kwa hiyo kambi yetu ina tent 8 na moja wa tent ni family tent ambayo inaweza akachukua mama, baba wawili. Kwa hiyo kila tent tunasema tuko hizi tent za kawaida kunaweza watu wawili. Kwa hiyo 8 mara 2 ni 16. Sawa. 20. Pesa 20 kwa wakati mmoja. Sawa, Zawadi?
Ndio, asante.
Karibu.
Kwa majina naitwa Happiness Oliasi. Ni vitu gani vya ziada ambavyo vinatakiwa kuwepo kwenye kempu yenu ambavyo mgeni akiviona atafurahia zaidi tofauti na wanyama?
Yani kwenye kambi most important unatakiwa service. Unajua service ambayo una offer kwa wageni ili wafurahi, hiyo ndo moja wapo. Na hizo za wanyama hiyo ni bonus, ndio? So whatever you provide service yako wewe hapo, hospitality yako wewe, ndo hiyo inaleta wageni zaidi. Kwa hiyo so far it's good.
So Florida, na swali kwamba katika kempu lenu ni matua guide tu na manager au hata watu wengine, mfano madaktari, manesi, watangazaji wa taarifa habari wanaweza kufanya kazi hapo?
Inategemea kwenye madokta, hiyo maybe itakuwa kama mtu ambaye anakuwa dokta wa kampuni. And then kama kwenye either nurse au dokta anaweza kuwa wa kampuni ambao anakuja anasaidia kampuni. Kama kuna mtu yote anaumwa, unaweza kufanya kwenye kampuni. Mwandishi wa habari, yes, unaweza kuwa PR wa kampuni, una advertise Asilia, kampuni yako to the world, kwamba hii kampuni hivi na hivi. Of course unaweza kufanya hiyo kazi. Nimekujibu?
Ndio.
Haya.
Swali lingine ni kwamba yani hapo kwenye camp yenu mnafanya wasichana wenyewe kazi, yani wasichana na wanawake. Je, kwa mfano gari ikaji ikashusha mizigo, je ile mizigo mnaibeba nyewe wenyewe? Maana sio mizigo yote ambayo wasichana au wanawake wanaweza kuweza. Je, kama hamuwezi mnafanyaje?
Yani hakuna tunabeba wenyewe. Ndio maana it's a team effort. Yani hawezi ukasema kama kitu hakiwezekani peke yako, simko wengi. Mmoja anashika kule, anashika kule, anashika kule. Tunabeba. Kwa hiyo ni teamwork. Yani mtakuwa muangalie how are we going to carry it, na tunafanya wenyewe. Hakuna cha kushindwa.
Okay, maybe something to add. Maybe they'll be more happy when you guys, you give them the chance to come and visit there and learn a lot of stuff you guys are doing. That could be very amazing to them, you know.
Kabisa karibuni.
Okay.
Tutaorganize kabisa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Karibuni sana.
Asante.
I think you've made some friends there, Ellie. Definitely got some fans there. I was just going to ask, I don't know if this was covered, but do you guys at the moment or in the future, are you looking to do internships or anything like that, or is it too soon?
That I will have to speak with HR.
Yeah, of course.
We can,
Yeah, no worries at all.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ellie. Thank you. Jane, I can see you're online, but I don't know if you can hear me or if we can hear you.
I can really hear you, but the network is not stable. So off and on.
Off and on. Okay, let me see if I can go through your slides very quickly then. It's so good to have you on the call, Jane. So just as a bit of background, I met Jane last year in Uganda when I went gorilla trekking, and she's such a lovely person. She was full of smiles, and she protected us whilst we were walking through windy, impenetrable rainforest, or forest even. So I was like really keen to get Jane onto this call because I just think she's really impressive and she does amazing work. So Jane, do you want to just tell us a bit about yourself and the work that you do?
Yeah. I am a ranger in 𝗬𝗏𝗏 Impenetrable National Park in Uganda. I do mostly the security duties, that is providing security to the park inside and outside the park, inclusive of the client we receive.
Perfect. Yeah, so I've got a picture up on the screen at the moment of you in your uniform and with quite a big gun actually. So how long have you been doing this now, Jane?
I've been in the service for now 4 years.
4 years, and I think I asked you when you were there, didn't I? How long do you have to do your training for?
Yeah, the training to become a ranger takes 4 months. 4 months doing military training, then the 1 other month doing the basics on conservation to make it 5 months.
Yeah, perfect. And then in terms of, so you mostly work with gorillas, don't you? So I've got, let me just put it onto a bigger thing. So yeah, so you're doing the walks with the tourists where we go and see the gorillas. Is that something that you'd always wanted to do, or like how did you decide that this is what the job that you would do?
Yeah, it's something I had passion in. For you to be in this job of mine, you should first of all develop passion and positive attitude towards it. So for you to be in this job, have a positive mind and passion towards it, then you got to go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. Do you know how many other women are doing the job at the moment as well, where you are?
Sorry?
How many other women guides are there, or female, not guides, rangers? How many other female rangers are there in Bwindi?
In Bwindi, we have 42 female rangers, including our senior bosses.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let me just move on to the training. So in terms of the actual training that you did to become a ranger, what did that involve?
The training actually involved, before you go for the training, first of all, you have to apply for that job of becoming a ranger. After applying, if you manage to be shortlisted, you go for the interviews. After passing the interviews, that is both oral, written, and physical fitness test. When you go through that, you go for the training, which I've said lasts for 5 months. When you reach there, they engage you in a military training, as I said first, which I couldn't post here because it means to be confidential.
Yeah.
You go through all that military training, including even gun testing, you know, that thing of using a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you manage the military training, then you can go for the conservation classes training. After that, you'll be out as a game ranger.
Wow, it must be crazy. But the military training, it must be really intense.
It's kinda
hard work.
Yeah, it breaks. Actually, it is to remove the civilianism in you and turn you into that military person.
Wow, that's cool. And then at the moment, when you're working, are you actually from Bwindi, or you're just based there?
You pardon me?
Are you actually from the Bwindi area, or you're just living there to work there?
No, I'm not from Bwindi. I come from the eastern part of this country, but because of work, I'm now posted in southwestern part of Uganda in Bwindi 𝗵𝗫𝗺 National Park. So it's work which brought me here.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. And it sounds like there's already quite a lot of, I was quite surprised how many female rangers there are. Is it difficult to become a ranger if you're a woman, and what are the challenges?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to be a ranger considering the hardships, the nature of work involved. It becomes a bit hard for females to pick interest in going for it.
Yeah.
But for women to become rangers, it needs just the positive mind and how determined you are to go for that job, which other think is meant for men. So it's just the mindset and positive attitude.
Definitely. I think I'd find it quite difficult to become a ranger because it's so physical. So I think there's a lot more to it. So you're really, it sounds like a really good job to do as well. Thank you. That's so cool. That's really helpful, Jane. Thank you so much for joining. Harry, do any of the girls have any questions?
Yes, some of them have. Okay.
Okay, cool. So Jane, we've got some questions for you.
It's okay.
Jina langu ni Zawadi. Mimi na swali kwamba nyie madoria, yani kuna watu ambao wako huko vijijini au wako huko mjini huko wanatamani sana kusomea kazi kama hino, lakini hawawezi, yani hawawezi kufikia ndoto zao. Je, we kama wewe unawezeje kutatua hiyo changamoto au unawezeje kuwasaidia?
You need a translation there, Jenny.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So she's asking, there are a lot of girls out there in the community who really want to be like a ranger like you, but they've got some challenges to, to be the ranger. So what are you doing to those girls in the community who really wanna, do like you? Or what can you tell them?
We do always tell rangers, we do always tell those girls who have interest in joining this profession we are in, first of all, to be academically qualified for a job, because they ask for a minimum of O-level certificate. If you have that minimum of certificate, you have the passion to apply. The female bosses can try and push you to come and.
Oh no, I think we might have just lost Jane. That's such a shame. I think that what she was saying is that you need a minimum of O-level certificates and qualifications, and also you need to obviously have that passion in order to be able to take part. And obviously there's the training that you have to go through as well. But I think that's a really good question that came from the girls in terms of the work that's being done within the community to try and encourage more girls to become rangers. So I can definitely see if Jane can share any more information about that. Oh, perfect, Jane's back. Jane, can you hear us? Hey, Jane.
Hi.
Hey. I think you were just saying that the minimum that is needed is O-level certificates or O-level certificate to become a ranger, but also obviously the passion as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to add as well?
Yeah, what I can tell my friends outside there, that for you to get something, you have really to be having the determination, the positive attitude, like the open mindset to do it. Nothing is impossible if you really have interest in doing it.
Definitely. That's really helpful, really good advice. Harry, were there any other questions as well?
Yes, there is another one.
Na swali kwamba kwenye kazi yako ni kitu gani ambacho unakifurahia na ni kitu gani ambacho unakichukia? Maana hiyo ni kazi ngumu sana. Kazi ya ulinzi ni ngumu sana.
So she's asking, in your job, what thing do you really like about your job? And one of the things that you really hate about your job, because she said that job was very difficult, as a woman. So there should be something that you like the most and something that you at least hate it or you don't like it. So.
What I like most in my job is the nature, the impressive nature around me, and the social connections I've really got through my job is really something impressive I've liked from my job. I'm working in a park where there are mountain gorillas, and mountain gorillas are believed to be 98.4 genetic to humans. Wow. So the fact that I'm working around my cousins makes it really so impressive. So for the challenge about my job, yeah, everything we do has both good and bad, but this one, the challenge I face about it is first of all, I have the terrain is not favorable for me. It is really hard. I think Becca can testify. It's kind of steep. Yeah. Then we have this overnight camping. There's overnight camping where we go to the forest for 5 nights. And moreover, we are ladies. You imagine you're a lady staying in that one tent with males, of which you're not even sure how they will take you throughout all those nights. So that thing is kind of challenging, but we are managing, we are maneuvering slowly.
I didn't realise that you did that as well, Jane. That's really interesting that you do the overnight camp as well for 5 nights. That's crazy.
Yeah, we really do, because it's part of our duties to be done.
Yeah, definitely. And then as well as the gorillas, there's also the there's buffalo and elephant in the forest as well, aren't there?
In 𝗏𝗿𝗏𝗏, we don't have the buffaloes, but we have the elephants, forest elephants.
Yeah.
Actually, there are more other animals. We have in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, the small antelopes called 𝗃𝗃𝗲𝗍, the bush pigs, and we have warthogs. Majorly as other animals we can spot when we are out there in the forest executing our duties.
Amazing. Harry, is there another question as well?
Oh, okay. There is some girls here was like asking how can, she's working the remote area, and so how does she, avoid herself in the danger when she's facing the danger, like those wild animals, some of them? So,
Oh, like the attack from the animals?
Yeah, so how to avoid getting attacked.
When we always go to the forest, we go armed. We go with our guns. So in case of any attack, if we try to dodge without shooting and they still come attacking, of course, there's no way apart from shooting. So that is the only way we try to rescue ourselves.
Yeah, I think I think like you said, though, you try to avoid it, don't you? As far as possible.
Yeah, if we see there's like the animal is becoming aggressive and we try to dodge, it is still on us. We shall have no choice but to shoot.
Go ahead. Yeah. So that's really helpful. It's really interesting. Does anyone have any other questions for Jane?
I think girls are good here.
Perfect. I just had a quick question for you, Jane. In terms of the actual training, is that paid for by the Uganda Wildlife Authority, or do you have to pay for it yourself?
Pardon me, I didn't hear the first words.
In terms of your training to become a ranger, do you have to pay for it yourself, or is it paid for by the government or the Uganda Wildlife Authority?
No, it is the Uganda Wildlife Authority that pays for our training. As long as you've gone through the interviews you've passed, the rest is for them to cater for the training. For yourself is to be there for the training.
Yeah, perfect. That's been so interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jane. It's so good to talk to you again as well. And I hope to see you again soon. Also, thank you to everyone who's taken part. I think we may have lost Bijoux, and I think one of the other speakers has probably had to go, but Ellie's still here, and obviously Jane's still here. So thank you so much. Let me just make sure there aren't any other questions. Oh, it looks like there might be some. Oh, lovely. Yeah, there's a few questions. Just oh, perfect. So Nuru has said that there's also interesting roles that are in engineering, and there isn't a presentation available now, but maybe we can do like a follow-up session with other industries as well. And also, if anyone who's presented today wants to present again, then that would be cool. And sorry, so Jane, one more for you. So a question has come through. What is the role of women rangers when it comes to animal trafficking and poaching?
The role of women rangers when it comes to animal trafficking.
Yeah, so in terms of conservation and trying to protect them.
Yeah, first of all, we are trained to protect these animals. So we have to make sure, like we try to deter those illegal activities mostly by doing patrols. We do the day patrols, we do the overnight patrols. So I think the women can do to deter those activities. We as well get involved in intelligence, gathering of information. When you hear like this, you there is also investigating. We do investigate as women rangers. We carry out investigations on such matters. I think those are most of the roles women do in curbing such acts.
Perfect, thank you. That's really, really interesting. It's good to know as well that obviously I met you as a tourist, and you were sort of like helping us as tourists through and protecting us whilst we were walking. But it's so interesting to know that there's all this other work that goes on as well in terms of you doing the overnights and gathering intelligence and investigations and everything. It's like a really full-on role, but you're doing so much good, Jane. So I think it's really amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
No worries. Cool. So I think we are going to wrap it up there. Thank you everyone so much for joining. It's been really, really, really good hearing from you and talking to you. Harry, in terms of some of the answers that we've given, because some of the answers have been in English, are you able, or have you been able to sort of translate them for the girls?
Yes, probably. I mean, I was doing that when, you know, they were answering in English, so I was trying to translate into Swahili so that the girl can understand.
Oh, you superstar, thank you. If not, then there is obviously, we're recording this session, so what I could do for some of the English answers that have been given, I can send them to you in English, and maybe you could, or I can share them with everyone in English, but maybe if you can translate them to Swahili as well, then we can send that to everyone who's been on this session.
Yes.
Yeah. What was that, sorry, Harry?
Yes, that can work too.
Perfect. So we can do that in the next week. I'll type them up, the answers, and then yeah, we can sort of swap notes. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Jane, for joining from Windy, and thank you, Ellie. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you all soon.
See you soon. See you soon, Becca.
Bye,
yeah. And thank you, Becca, for organising it.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Janet. Thanks for jumping on as well. And happy International Women's Week, of course.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, ladies. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you